and it's next time. So, yeah, one other bit of not movie news, actually. This is just a miscellaneous video I want to do. So, a while back, I did a little video talking about Battle for Zendikar, the newest Magic Gathering expansion set, and start of a new block in the 2-block structure. For those of you who play Magic and have clicked on this video, you probably do play Magic, or at least know about it enough to watch this video. Was it a disappointment? I said it really wasn't a disappointment, it was just different. And it actually had some things going for it the original Zendikar didn't have going for it. Now, I could do a video on Oath of the Gatewatch, but I just don't care about Oath of the Gatewatch right now. No, I'll be the first to say I wasn't impressed extremely with Battle for Zendikar. There's a lot of cool stuff in Battle for Zendikar. I still want a lot of stuff out of Battle for Zendikar, but I wasn't overly impressed. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't super impressed. It wasn't like with the Khans of Tarkir block where I was just having so much fun with that one. This was fun, but it's a different environment. Now, they announced that what the next block is going to be. Not the next set. We already know what the next set is. It's going to be Oath of the Gatewatch. But the next block, the two-structure block we're getting. And it's another return set. We're getting Shadows over Shadows under Zendikar. Shadows over Innistrad. Apparently an expansion sequel to the Innistrad block, which consisted of Innistrad, Dark Ascension, and Absent Restored. Which is widely considered, at least on par with the original Ravnica, to be probably the best Magic set ever created. Period. Like, the block overall is just considered one of the best of all time. And I would be inclined to say I would agree with that to some extent. It was one of the best expansions of all. It was such a fun set, such gothic flavor, such tones, such characters. It was just fun. But it begs the question, first off, what can we expect out of this? And second off, is it too soon for another return? Now, to touch on another return, is it too soon? The way that they're designing their block structure now with 2 blocks every year, you can get away with 2 blocks that are return blocks, and then say the next year get away with 2 new blocks. Or I would have preferred new block return, new block return, new block return, maybe new return, but maybe that's kind of what we're getting now. Because we actually, we went from Theros to we went from Ravnica to Theros, which was new, then Tarkir, which was new, then we're back to Zendikar, which is old, and now we're back to Innistrad, which is old. So actually, that structure makes a bit more sense now that I'm sounding it out. And then after Innistrad, we'll probably see another new set, a new block, or a new plane, and then maybe another new plane after that to compensate. And then maybe we'll go back to an old one, a return, and then another new, and then return, and then another new. So actually, now that I sounded that out, it doesn't bother me as much as it did. It didn't even bother me that much. I just would have liked to see a new plane as opposed to return. But still, it looks fun. It looks fine. Now, the trailer, it's not much to go off of. We don't see any characters in the trailer. What we see is Innistrad, the moon. We see an angel's feather, which I'm going to assume is Avacyn's feather. That's something I'm going to assume on right now, because she's an angel with white feathers, white wings. And we see it, and it's falling down from the moon. It falls on what is a statue of a symbol of Avacyn, but it turns blood red. And then the symbol starts contorting into, I don't know if this is like happening, like something's messing with the angels or something like that, but it's turning into the new Shadows over Innistrad symbol, which is essentially a reversed, with a few different touches, but inversed Avacyn Restored symbol. So it was a cute little teaser. But it raises the question, what the hell is going to be going down in this block? So let's touch on some stuff right now. Let's touch on story real quick. What the hell is the story of this going to be? We left Innistrad, and we know there's other continents in Innistrad too. It's not just the main continent we were on. They've explained that. So there's other areas that probably still have werewolves and stuff like that, which we'll get to other stuff like that. But the story, we left it. The Hellvault was open. Avacyn was, and all the angels and demons that have been, Avacyn was released, as well as all the demons that have been sealed in the Hellvault. She gathered angels, but now that she was back, she was able to revitalize, re-rally the people and angels and all the other positive species that were in Innistrad, and she was able to bring them together. And now there was more of a balance between the good and the evil now. The werewolves have turned into Wolfren, at least in that area where Avacyn is. And they're fighting alongside humans. The demons and vampires are still running amok, though. Zombies are still around, though. They're getting their asses kicked now. And I even bought a box of Avacyn Restored back in the day. I got some good stuff out of that. I did. Didn't get any Planeswalkers, though. I ended up I actually, in hindsight, I shouldn't have traded Tibble. I got Tibble in my pre-release, and I traded him because I just wasn't a big fan of him. And even now, I can say I'm not a huge fan of Tibble that much. He's a 2-mana planeswalker, but he's not amazing. He's nothing great. He's okay, but he's just not, amazing. But Tameo, I dug Tameo. I'm a big blue player. Blue-green are my 2 bread and butter colors. Followed by red, then white, and then black falls in my least favorite. Though I utilize all colors in a bunch of my decks. So I was a big fan of Tameo, or Tameo, depending on how you pronounce her. I dug Sorin a little bit. Sorin was kind of cool. The redone version, he was black and white. We got a cool black and white planeswalker for a change. Liliana, whatever. I'm not a huge Liliana fan to begin with. Garrick was pretty cool, though I always like calling him Garuk because that just sounds better and more primal for the character. And but yeah, it was just where we left off. That was how we left off. So where's the story going to continue on from there? Clearly, some time has passed between Avacyn Restored and now, so something's changed. Something is going to happen where there's going to be a new kind of problem going on. Maybe a stronger demon than even Grizzlebrand has emerged, or maybe a Planeswalker has shown up and is starting to cause havoc, and which brings probably Sorin and Liliana at least in the picture. The feather turning blood red can be symbolized a lot of things. It could symbolize the angels are going to be killed. Maybe Avacyn will actually be killed, because let's be clear. As expensive as Avacyn Angel of Hope is, the original version, that's a powerhouse card. That's an 8/8 flyer, indestructible, that makes everything indestructible. That's not a card you fuck with easy. But then she got downgraded. I think she dealt with protection after that. She was downgraded to I think a 5/5 or even a 4/4. Now granted, she cost 5, so she was far easier to play. But when you actually look at how a story progression of that character would basically explain, she somehow lost her indestructibility, her invulnerability to things like demons, and she instead gave granted protection or something like that. So we'll see a new version of Avacyn. That's a given. We'll see a bunch of angels. We'll see a bunch of new demons. We'll probably get another dragon of some kind, which that's weird. I never have an issue with dragons. I dig dragons a lot, but will we see a Hydra? I don't think there's Hydras on that plane. So Hydra, in fact, if anything, I kind of like Hydras a bit more than I like dragons. Those are just fun cards to play. I have a Hydra deck. That's just fun to play. So I have a feeling we might actually see Avacyn get corrupted. That would be an interesting. Avacyn now is a white-black card, or maybe even a black-red-white, maybe a tricolor, like a Mardu color. Because there's nothing to say we can't put a tricolor combination in there. Maybe 1 or 2, while the decks are still in standard right now. So, but going off of that, then, what are we going to see in terms of the Planeswalkers? Because it's basically 5 Planeswalkers per set, or block still. Even though it's 2 blocks now, they're still keeping the same amount in standard, basically, and you got 5 per. You had 5 per this original set block, plus 5 in the core set, so you have 10 usually on average, not including any dual decks or commanders or whatnot. So you got 10 and you got 10. That's just how it works. So or you got 5, so that makes 10. Now, in terms of the story purposes, we definitely would probably see Liliana. That's the first plane she planeswalked to. They said that. And given how she ended up, if you follow the Uncharted Realms, you know how she kind of just departed from Jace, kind of bitterly trying to get information to kill more demons. Freaking conceited bitch. It's oh no, you want to go help other people. Yet I was going to ask you for your help to solve my problem, because my problem is more important than an entire plane being eaten. So no, I'm not selfish, nah. So yeah, Liliana we'd probably see. We'll probably see Tibble again, because we'll probably get another version of him, because he's probably still on the plane. I think. No, actually, I think they may have said Sorin drove him off, but he'll probably show back up. We'll probably get another version of Garrick, probably him maybe being purified and maybe being a green-white creature. I could see that. We haven't had a green-white creature since a Johnny. But that leads to 2 other characters. Now, while they're going to be focusing more on the current roster of characters, that doesn't mean we won't still be getting new characters in terms of Planeswalkers. We have Obelisk Nyx back in Battle for Zendikar. He was established, but he is technically a new Planeswalker that we've had. Now, he had a Planeswalker card in Commander series. He was a creature in both original Zendikar and in, I think, M15. But to be fair, we haven't had a Planeswalker card of him in the actual set, so he counts as a new Planeswalker card. We have another version of Kiora, we have another version of Gideon right now. We're going to get another version of Nissa, and we're probably going to get Chandra to balance out the red. Now, that being said, we're still probably going to get new Planeswalkers every now and then. It's just they're going to be focusing more on the current roster. Or the main core 5 we saw in Origins, plus the other ones that are currently existing, like Kiora, like Obelix Nyx. But yeah, I mean, we're probably going to get Liliana. We'll probably get Tybalt, I think. And we'll probably get Garruk. Now, will Sorin show up just because this is his home plane? I don't know. He's currently looking for Nahiri, the Lithomancer, right now. He's trying to look for her. So I don't know if he'll actually show up on Innistrad this time around. I think we'll actually see the Raven Man, though. For any of you who don't know, it's this guy who's been bothering Liliana for quite some time. He's maybe we believe he's like a shape-shifting planeswalker or maybe a necromancer of some kind. But he just keeps showing up bugging her. I think if he is a planeswalker, we may very well actually see him in Innistrad. Which would leave, I think, the last one. It would be a blue planeswalker because you need to balance out the color pie. Because let's be clear, we have Garruk. I call him Garruk. We have Garruk, but Garruk, he's going to be green minimum. We'll have Liliana, black. We'll have Tybalt, red. And then, if I'm guessing right, Raven Man is either going to be black or he's going to be maybe like a black-blue, maybe? And then I would think maybe Tamiya, or maybe even a black-white. And I would think maybe Tamiya would be the last one, or Tamiya, depending on again you pronounce her. I think she might be the last one, and she could either be blue or blue-white. So that's what we think we might get in the characters there. In terms of say what we get for like cards and the style. Well, one, I'm looking forward to return of werewolves and transformation is the big one. If they're gonna bring it back, I think they have to do transformation. Maybe even put a new spin on transformation if you can figure that out. That'd be great because people dug the. I got Jace in my pre-release pack, man. That was fun. So I have a foil Jace sitting in my Grixis deck right now, which is from my understanding, it's getting pretty pricey. So I'm like, yeah, I got value right now. And I got the Hydra that I wanted, so I'm like, yeah, my day's fine. I got what I wanted. We'll see I'm pretty certain we'll see transformation. But werewolf, vampires, demons, that's all fun. Angels is gonna be fun, but werewolves, that's the thing. I have a werewolf deck just sitting there that's pretty much near pinnacle right now. That all the stuff I could do to a werewolf deck, I have all the werewolves that you could get basically, and I basically tinkered with it, put new occasional wolf cards in, stuff like that. But yeah, it's basically like. I've done all I can with this thing. It's still fun to play with. I don't ever plan to really dismantle this thing unless, all of them suddenly bump up to like $150. I'm like, eBay. I love this deck, but eBay. Yeah, so I look forward to werewolf. Hell, I would be down for maybe even a new planeswalker who's a werewolf. Like a legitimate werewolf. That would be cool. Or Wolfrin. Well, that'd be damn awesome. I'd be down for that. I mean, overall, though, we'll see a new mechanic. We'll see a return mechanic as well. Because let's be clear, we saw the return of Landfall and Battle for Zendikar. But we got the Awaken mechanic. We got the Devoid thing. We got Ingest. I think we got another one in there that I'm forgetting right now. So we got a lot of cool stuff out of Battle for Zendikar in terms of the mechanics. But for Innistrad, transformation, again, I think is the given returning mechanic. Though we might get another returning mechanic. Like, we might get Flashback, or we might get Undying back. But we might, if we get another return mechanic, it doesn't necessarily have to be from that set either. It could be from something else. If I had to think on Unearthed, I think it was Unearthed, from Shards of Lara, the Grixis mechanic, more or less. That was an interesting mechanic that could be revisited a bit or repurposed. In terms of like maybe there's an actual mechanic for Angel, pair Demon, pair Werewolf. Werewolf probably has is probably the main one with Transform, but maybe they actually have their own kind of mechanic. Angel might have its own special mechanic. Demon might have its own special mechanic. Vampire might have tribal mechanics. That'd be interesting. We'll definitely see a maybe somewhat return to the tribal deck, I think. Now, granted, I don't think they're meant to be like a sub-tribal theme in the Innistrad block. They were not truly a tribal theme. There was no actual tribal marked cards, but you could basically just say it's tribal. And for those of you who don't know what tribal means, if you're a Magic player, not sure what that means, it means that you're focusing on a certain actual class of creature in terms of tribal. There's giant. Lorwyn did that in spades. There's Merfolk tribal, Elf tribal, a Giant tribal, Goblin tribal. So there's a whole bunch of that. Overall, though, yeah, I think I'm definitely down to see where we're going to be at for Innistrad. Now, I am a more fan of the more fantasy elevated, fantasy kind of acclimated worlds, such as Battle for Zendikar, which is kind of adventurous. Theros was based on Greek mythology. That's kind of cool. And Greek and Roman. Ravnica, it's like this. It's just this super giant city plane. That's fun. The guilds were cool. I don't hate Gothic horror by any stretch of me. It is fun. I enjoy Gothic horror, but you get a little bored of it. Now, right around Halloween time, I do think it's kind of a mistake that they did Battle for Zendikar now instead of doing Innistrad now, because Halloween, I don't know why you thought that would be a better time. You introduced the first Innistrad around Halloween. Why do you think it was such a success? Because it was a good set, but also people were in the Halloween spirit. It was creepy. It was Gothic horror. We were having fun. Oh, well. And then not everyone liked Avacyn Restored, saying it was kind of a little different. I liked Avacyn Restored fine. So, I mean, granted, you didn't actually draft it with anything else but Avacyn Restored, so it was a little odd. Pretty certain that was the way it went. But, yeah, I mean, overall, I think this is going to be cool. It's going to be fun. We'll probably get some really cool, expensive cards, like cool Planeswalkers will be back. There's always cool Planeswalkers. Some people get upset at some of the Planeswalkers, but, like, throughout, I think, again, that's one of the things people didn't complain about for Battle for Zendikar. Everyone kind of dug the Planeswalkers in the set. So, yeah, all the Mythics, most people kind of dug on a little bit to a degree. There was a bunch of decent comments. I just don't, I think fans just expect it to be more next time than what we get anytime we have a new set. So it's just something to think on. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review at some point. So, I'll have my Hulu win up in the coming days. I actually got to do research for it because I haven't done that yet. But it's also, from now till the release of Force Awakens, it's all going to be at least semi-Star Wars themed. There's going to be at least one Star Wars character in each Versus video. Do it up until the release. I got one other Star Wars video to do later in the week. And that'll be a fun one. So, and then, of course, Spectre and Peanuts comes out this week. So, thanks for watching. I'll get to that stuff when I get to it. Plus, I got to do the Warcraft trailer later on this week. So, I got stuff to do today. Or do this week. Talk about. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.